Hi there and welcome to our live, or maybe you're watching some recording. So today we're looking at triangle pose. The triangle pose is one of those poses that you've probably heard about, you've probably even done at some point, or maybe you do it all the time. But either way, I just want to take a few moments just to kind of look at the benefits of triangle pose, and also just to get your alignment right. It's very easy to go into these shapes but actually not be doing it correctly. So why do you want to do triangle pose anyway? Well, lots of reasons. It kind of opens out through the chest, which is lovely. If you spend a lot of time at a desk or driving or pushing a pram or anything like that, it opens out through the chest. Doing biking, it's very nice to do that. It strengthens the core, and who doesn't want to have a stronger core? It works into the ankles and the legs, so really strengthening the ankles, the legs. Helps with your balance because you're actually kind of off centre, and it also helps to improve circulation, helps to reduce stress, helps to improve your focus. So hey, why not? Let's get into it and have a look at it. So great. So let's take a moment just to kind of first of all just roll those shoulders. Just have a little warm up first, just 2 minutes or 2 seconds roll up. You can always do longer, and then roll those shoulders the other way. Depending on what you've been up to so far today, you might be nice and limbered up, or you might have been sat down all morning and you just kind of need to move a little bit. I've literally just got on my bike, it's very wet today, so I don't really need to warm up, but it's nice to roll my shoulders anyway. And then just have a little through those lips, have a little through those lips, good. And then when you're ready, we're going to take those legs wide apart. So they don't want to be too wide. One thing I see quite often with students is people have the legs really wide, and that makes it very difficult to kind of feel controlled and balanced. And with any shape we come into, we want to have that place of sustainability. So if someone said to you, you're going to stay there for half an hour, you'd be like, yeah, okay, I'm breathing well and I can do that. Not like, oh my God, I'm hanging on for dear life and when's this going to finish? If you're ever like that in a pose, then you probably need to soften or change a few things. We should always look for that kind of place of sthira sukha, softness and alertness in our postures. So first of all, we're going to turn, I'm going to do the right side first, but you could do the left. The right foot is turning out, so it's not in, it's out. So the toes are pointing towards the narrow edge of the mat. Now both legs are going to stay quite straight in triangle. Now quite often you may have been told that you need to line up the heel to the middle of the back foot, which is okay for some people. For many people it's better to have it slightly offset. So my right foot is slightly to the right and my left foot is slightly to the left. So I'm not actually in a direct line, but that gives me more stability, and it's also nicer for the hips. So give that a go if you want to. My back foot is at a 45-degree angle. So again, just check in here. Are my legs too wide? Does it feel okay? I'm just going to bring mine in a little bit actually today. Just feels like quite nice. And then with the arms, you're just going to float those arms up. So just take a moment just to kind of have a float those arms up moment. Ah, lovely. So it's not a rigid. Just float those arms up. Notice if the shoulders rise to the ears when you do that, or if you can kind of keep them nice and controlled and nice and soft. So nice and relaxed, they're not tense up by the ears. Quite often people clench their shoulders up to all the ears, and just soften the shoulders down, okay? And then from here, you're just going to think about this right hand, and you're going to slide, it's almost like you're reaching something beyond the right hand, so reaching for something over there. And just let that hand rest on the leg wherever it wants to. It might be by the thigh, the knee, it might be by the middle of the shin. And quite often I see people desperately trying to get their foot here or the ground. It's not necessary to come into a nice triangle pose. It's just about what suits you. Now we're all different, so there's not one size fits all, and that's really important in yoga. And the left hand is just going to sit on the hip for now. Take the gaze to the foot. Just make sure that foot, the toes are pointing towards the narrow edge of the mat. The leg is straight. There's no kind of wobbling in with that thigh. And then just look towards the side of the room. So maybe you're looking now towards the side of the room or the foot. And just check in with your neck. How does your neck feel looking at the foot or looking to the side of the room? If it feels okay, then maybe the gaze is going to go up. You're very welcome to keep this back hand on the hip. Any shoulder issues, keep it on the hip. If you want to, there's a couple of things you can do. You could take the arm up towards the sky. And the other thing you can do is actually bring the back of this hand onto the front leg. And that way you're just engaging the core a little bit more. So draw the navel in, have that sense of a little smile on the belly button. And then check in with your head. If your gaze is up, just check in, is that okay in my neck? Or do I actually need to bring my gaze to the side or maybe back down to the foot? If you wanted to go a step further, you could take this hand off the leg completely and maybe just hold the ribs or something, or just have the hand resting there. So why would you do that? Just to increase the core activity again. Or you can have the hand resting down. Try not to have the hand actually on the leg and leaning into it. So it's the back of the hand ideally lightly touching on there. And then find those feet, find your breath, breathing in through the nose And breathing out through those. Use those feet and use the core to slowly come all the way back up. And then just release, have a little shake out of those legs. So during that pose, we're breathing out through the nose as always. And it's a nice, gentle, slow breath. We'll do the other side, so the left foot's coming out now. My left toes are pointing towards the top edge of the mat. As I say, notice I don't have to be as long as the mat. Yeah, that doesn't necessarily serve me well today. So I'm going to have the left foot pointing towards the top of the mat, the right foot's at a 45-degree angle. Again, it's slightly offset, it's not straight behind that front foot because that feels better. It's nicer for the hips, it gives me better stability. You might be different, so play around with it. Take a moment to let those arms float up and down a few times again. Remember, we don't want the shoulders to be hunched up by the ears. Have the shoulders nice and relaxed, reaching into those fingers. So really reaching those fingers, sliding towards that left hand. Let that left hand just calm down, let it rest on the leg. Ideally, like I said, back of the hand on the leg. Maybe it's on the knee around the sort of thigh, maybe it's down a little bit further. Maybe it's all the way down, but don't get obsessed by popping on the floor. The other hand can just come to the hip. Notice that nice opening across the chest. Take the gaze down. Look at the foot. Make sure the foot hasn't kind of moved. It's still, toes are pointing towards the top of the mat. Maybe the gaze is coming to the side. Take a moment here just to breathe in out through the nose. Don't be in a rush to take the arm up to the sky. And when you do, just kind of let it glide up. We're not just throwing the arm up. Let it glide up towards that, reaching into those fingers. So the right hand we're reaching up, the left hand we're reaching down, and we're breathing here through the nose. Draw the navel in. Again, if you want to, you could take that left hand away from the leg a little bit to challenge yourself, or maybe just let it sit on the right ribs. Breathing here, and then maybe popping it down again. And then use those feet to find the feet on the ground, draw the navel in and slowly come all the way back up. And hey presto, the triangle pose is complete. Have a little shake off if you want to. Well done for being here, thanks for showing up. See you soon.